please tell the jury your name and please spell your last name for them, please.
My name is David Gratz. It's spelled Gratz.
Okay. Where are you currently employed?
I'm an attorney in the private practice of law.
Okay. And prior to that, where were you employed?
By the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation.
Okay. When did you first start with the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation?
In August of 2019.
Okay. And what was your title during that time?
I was a special agent criminal investigator.
Okay. Can you give the jury a brief summation of what that job entails?
Yes, I was assigned to the criminal investigation division. So it's what a larger department might call like a major crimes unit. So we investigated things like death investigations, missing persons, adults and children, officer-involved shootings, and public corruption.
Okay. If you can also just give the jury a brief summation of your education up until the point of starting your first job.
So I graduated from East Tennessee State University with a bachelor's degree in 2011. I continued on and went to law school at Lincoln Memorial University School of Law and graduated with a law degree in 2014. And do you want me to go into my first employment?
Please.
My first position was with the District Attorney General's office in the 3rd Judicial District, primarily assigned in Morristown.
Okay. And then you went to the TBI thereafter. Is that right?
That's correct.
Okay. And were you employed with the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation in February of 2020?
Yes, I was.
And were you called to assist in the investigation of missing child Evelyn Boswell?
Yes, I was.
Okay. Which agency requested the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation's help?
Initially, it was called in by the Sullivan County Sheriff's Office for us to assist in an investigation of a missing child. And later, we were formally requested in writing to assist by the District Attorney General Barry's office.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'm handing you a document. Do you recognize that?
Yes, I do.
Okay. What is it?
This is a formal request for investigation, commonly issued by district attorney generals throughout the state to request the TBI to investigate facts and circumstances of a potential crime.
Okay. And is that how the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation essentially is officially called in to investigations?
In a lot of what CID does, yes, we are requested by the district attorney general.
Okay. And on this specific request, what were you being asked to do?
It's essentially just to gather the facts and circumstances of the whereabouts of a missing child.
Okay.
It was Evelyn Boswell.
Okay. Were you given any background information to help you start your investigation?
And like most cases, you receive very little background information. Initially, I was just essentially told that she was missing, that her mother had been located, and law enforcement had talked to her at that point. And I think that's about all I was told initially.
Okay. Then we can pass that back. We're not going to put that into evidence. I just wanted you to be able to see that document.
Thank you. Thank you.
Can we approach her? Let me pass you a document.
Thank you.
And I'm going to ask if you recognize that document.
Yes, I do.
Okay. What is it?
This is essentially a standard form made by TBI in Nashville of an Amber Alert poster, and it was issued specifically for the victim here, Evelyn Boswell.
Okay. Is that a fair and accurate representation of the Amber Alert that was prepared and in regards to missing child Evelyn Boswell?
Yes, it is.
We'd ask that be made exhibit number 185.
Would be exhibit 185.
Thank you.
Defense. Okay. And permission to publish, Your Honor. Okay. I'm going to ask you a few questions about this. You said this is the Amber Alert that was sent out in regard to missing child Evelyn Boswell. Is that right?
That is correct.
Do you recall when the Amber Alert was issued?
Yes, it was in the evening of February the 19th,
Okay.
2020.
Okay. February 19th. Okay. And where does that go? Does that go just to the state of Tennessee, or how was the determination made on how far that would go?
That's a question that I don't specifically know the answer to. I
Okay.
know they are issued statewide.
Okay.
I know depending on the location, it can travel over into different states at times.
Okay. And the information on the bottom of this, it's pretty small print.
I can see it.
Okay, you can see it okay?
I can.
Is the information listed here, where had the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation taken these details that are listed on the Amber Alert?
I'm sorry, I don't think I understand your question.
Where did you get the information that Evelyn was last seen wearing a pink tracksuit?
That information was provided to us by the defendant.
Okay. Where did you get information about a BMW?
Also from the defendant.
Okay. All right. Okay. So after the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation was assigned, can you give a brief description of how you, let me back up one step. What was your role in this investigation with the TBI?
I was assigned as the TBI case agent.
Okay, so that means essentially the lead case agent over the case for the TBI.
For TBI, yes.
Okay, so after you were assigned this investigation, can you give us a brief description of how you conducted your investigation?
So initially, you just arrive on scene and you try to get as much information as you can. You talk to the people who have already been there, find out what they have done. You talk with the local agency or agencies that are already involved, and you really just try to understand what's going on in the investigation and what has been done so far.
Okay, and were you working with other agencies at this point?
Yes.
Okay, which other agencies around February 18th, February 19th?
When I first arrived, it was TBI was on scene at the Sullivan County Sheriff's Office with Sullivan County, and I believe they were members of the Federal Bureau of Investigation on scene, FBI.
Okay, and how do you meet? How did all these agencies coming together? How do they decide how to execute a plan in an investigation like this?
In the initial phases, you really do the best you can, but it oftentimes goes to either the case agent or the highest in chain of command that is on scene, and they get together and decide which agency will play a role in what, and you just divvy up tasks.
Okay. as part of what you did you go to the trailer that Megan Boswell lived in with Evelyn prior to Evelyn going missing?
Yes, I did.
And do you remember when you went to that trailer?
That would have been the evening of the 19th
Okay.
of 2020, February 19th.
So the same day the Amber Alert went out.
That is correct.
Okay. Anyone go with you to that trailer?
Yes, Investigator Tracy Haraz with the Sullivan County Sheriff's Office.
Okay. Why did you go there?
We were going initially to meet a young man named Austin Feller.
Okay. And did the defendant still live at that trailer?
No, she no longer lived there.
Okay. Was anyone living in that trailer at the time?
Yes, there were current tenants who had moved in.
Okay. If I could please see exhibits number 49 and 50. I'm going to show you two documents that have already been introduced into evidence. Is this the trailer that you were describing as being the defendant's trailer?
Yes,
Okay. Just another view. Is that an accurate view of that trailer?
it is.
Okay. And do you know the street address for that trailer?
I believe it's at 976 Sugar Hollow Road.
Okay. Is that located in Sullivan County, Tennessee?
It is.
Okay. Were you able to determine who actually owned the trailer?
Yes, I believe it belonged to the defendant's family, either her dad or her brother, some type of association owned it.
Okay. Were you able to determine if the defendant had left any property behind when she moved out?
Yes, we learned that there was still some property
Okay.
at the site.
And were you given consent to search that site and or anything attached to that property?
Yes, we were given consent to search a small outbuilding that was right there next to that trailer.
Okay. And did you also conduct a search outside the trailer?
I did, yes.
What were you looking for?
Any signs of disturbed dirt, anything that would lead us to believe that the victim may still be there, or anything that would lead us to her current whereabouts.
Okay. Did you find Evelyn?
No, we did not.
Did you find anything else that was significant to the investigation regarding anything associated with Evelyn?
But we did inside of the shed that was next to the trailer.
Okay. So, what did you find in the shed?
A stroller that had been left behind.
Okay. I'm going to show you two photographs. you still have the photographs?
All right, objections overruled.
Yes,
you.
I do.
You still have the photographs? Okay.
I do.
Okay. Do you recognize those photographs?
Yes.
What is it?
These are 2 photographs of the stroller we found that evening.
Okay. And were you able to determine whose property that was?
Yes, this belonged to the defendant.
Okay. So when you say belonged to the defendant, you found it where again?
In the shed that's essentially not attached, but very close to the trailer where the defendant was living.
Okay. So it did not buy, you said there were new tenants in that trailer.
That is correct.
Okay. Did they indicate that was their stroller?
No, they.
Objection sustained.
Okay. Did you locate anything else of relevance to this investigation inside the shed?
Not that I can recall.
At this time, we're gonna, well, let me ask this. The photographs, are they fair and accurate representation of how the stroller appeared on that date?
Yes.
Okay. We'd ask those be made, if possible, collective exhibit number 186.
The collective 186 over defendant's objection.
Permission to publish. And is this the stroller that was inside the shed that day?
Yes, it is.
Okay. And is this just a side view of that same stroller?
Correct.
Okay. Did you also take the stroller itself into evidence?
Yes, we did.
Okay. If, Your Honor, may he step down for a second?
Yes. As long as he picked up on the,
Okay. If you could step down to where the microphone is. And I'm going to ask if you can identify this piece, if you can recognize what that is.
Yes, I recognize that.
Okay, and what is it?
It's the stroller we found at the defendant's former trailer.
Okay. We'd ask that be made exhibit number 187.
be full exhibit 187
That's okay.
over objection of defendant.
And, Your Honor, would you like for us to fold that up? They're not always the easiest. Ooh, good job. Do you need help? Just roll it up. See if we can roll it under the table. And that'll work. There you go. Thank you. So I'm assuming, was law enforcement working long hours during these first few days?
Absolutely.
Okay. Did you attempt to interview the defendant about Evelyn?
Yes, later that night.
Okay. And what would the date have been for that?
When we attempted the interview, it was on February 19th of 2020.
Okay. And about what time did that interview start?
Shortly before midnight and continued on into the early morning hours of February the 20th
Okay. Where did it take place?
at the sheriff's office here in Blountville.
Okay. Was this interview audio or video recorded?
I believe that interview was audio only recorded.
Okay. And is that office that you interviewed located in Sullivan County, Tennessee?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Prior to talking with the defendant, did you Mirandize her?
I did.
Did she agree to speak with you?
She did.
During this interview, did she tell you the last time that she saw Evelyn?
Yes, she did.
Okay. When did she say she last saw Evelyn?
The day after Christmas, on the 26th of December, 2019.
Okay. Where did she say she saw Evelyn?
At Ethan Perry's grandparents' house.
Who did she say Ethan was in relation to Evelyn?
She had told us, or the defendant being she, had told us that Ethan Perry was Evelyn's father.
Did you talk with her about where Ethan was living?
I did, yes.
Okay, what did you tell her?
Told her that we had learned that Ethan was full-time in the military and was currently living on a base in Louisiana, I believe, and was living in a barracks on a base.
Okay. Had law enforcement already talked to Ethan at this point?
Yes, they had
Okay.
the Army's branch of CID.
Okay. And did you tell the defendant that?
I did.
What did you tell her about Ethan and Evelyn?
I essentially just told her that law enforcement had cleared that idea that Ethan had Evelyn inside of a barracks. And
Okay. Did Megan stay with that story about Ethan?
at that time, she maintained that all she knew was that Ethan had Evelyn.
Okay. And where did she say that she had been living?
As of recently, she told us, the defendant told us she had been living with her boyfriend, Hunter.
Okay. Did you ask her if Hunter could have hurt Evelyn?
I did. I asked that specifically.
What did she say?
The defendant said that Hunter would not do that.
Did you ask her if Hunter had been around Evelyn at all?
I did, yes.
And what did she say?
Essentially, no. At that point, she said Hunter had never been around Evelyn.
Okay. Did she say if Hunter had ever babysat Evelyn?
We were told by the defendant that Hunter never babysat Evelyn.
Did she say if Hunter had ever held Evelyn?
The defendant told us that Hunter had never held Evelyn.
Okay. Did you ask her if Evelyn had ever stayed at Hunter's house over on Sandy Point?
Yes, I asked her about that, and the defendant told me that no, Evelyn had never stayed over at Hunter's residence.
Okay. Prior to when she said she left Evelyn with Ethan, did she indicate whether she'd ever left Evelyn with Ethan in the past?
She told us that Ethan had never kept Evelyn alone prior to that day.
Okay. Did she tell you whether or not Evelyn had met Ethan before?
They had been introduced, I believe, briefly prior to that day on a trip to Texas.
Okay. Did the defendant tell you how many times she'd seen Evelyn after leaving her with Ethan in December?
I believe that we had talked about that, yes.
Okay. Do you recall do you recall how many times she said she'd seen Evelyn?
I don't think she had seen Evelyn at all after that December 26th date.
Started to object. I'll not make the objection. We approach the bench.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'll have you go with the officer.
Everyone stand, please. You may be seated. Thank you.
We'll take about a 15-minute break. Mr. Gratz, please do not discuss your testimony with any other witness during the break. We'll allow them to discuss their testimony.
Yes, sir.
Court stands in recess. Everyone stand, please. You may be seated. Thank you.
General, you may continue your direct.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'm trying to remember where we left off. Give me just a second. Okay. I think we had left off on me asking you if the defendant had told you how many times she had seen Evelyn after leaving her with Ethan. Is that the last question I asked you?
I think we were somewhere in that area for
Okay.
sure.
And do you remember what she told you?
I believe what she said was that she had not seen Evelyn since that day.
Okay. Did she tell you that she had been trying to get in touch with Ethan?
I think she said she'd reached out to him maybe one time, once or twice.
Okay. Did she ever tell you that she was getting worried about Evelyn and her safety?
No, I think she said she just hadn't really given it a lot of thought.
Okay. Did you ask why she hadn't contacted law enforcement?
We did.
What'd she say?
I think she just said she didn't really have a good.
We approve.
Sustained.
Okay, so I'm going to ask when I ask you a question. If you don't know the answer, you don't have to tell me.
Sure.
We try not to speculate with words like "I think" or things like that. Okay, so I may back up just a few questions
All
and
right.
ask you those questions again. Okay. Did Megan say she tried to get in touch with Ethan after the last time she had seen Evelyn?
I know she said that, yes.
Okay. Did she say she ever got worried about Evelyn and or her safety?
She said she had not.
Okay. Did you ask her why she hadn't contacted law enforcement?
We did ask her that.
And what was her response?
Specifically, I don't recall what she said.
Okay. What was her demeanor during this interview?
I would describe it as just very nonchalant.
Okay. And on this same day, do you recall being present when she was interviewed again?
Yes.
Okay. And was anyone else present during that interview?
Yes.
And who was present?
At the time, it was Sergeant Matt Price.
Okay. Was the interview audio and video recorded?
It was.
And where did it take place?
It was also at the sheriff's office.
Okay. And is that in Sullivan County, Tennessee?
It is.
How much time had passed from the interview we just talked about to this interview that we're getting ready to talk about?
Something like 8 hours. The interview we initially discussed ended at around 3 in the morning. The interview at the next day was around midday, noon.
Okay. So you said the first one ended around 3 in the morning. Is that right?
That is correct.
And what time do you believe the second one began?
It was around noon the following day, the
Okay.
20th.
Okay. Without going into the details of that interview, we're going to go ahead and jump ahead to the following day, February 21st. Was the defendant interviewed again on February 21st?
She was.
Was anyone else present for that interview?
Matt Price, at the
Okay.
sheriff's office.
Okay. And was that interview also audio and video recorded?
Yes, it was.
Okay. Prior to that interview, had the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation collected some of Megan Boswell's property from the residents of Hunter Wood?
Yes, a couple of our agents had collected some of her property.
Okay. And did Megan Boswell give you consent to search and collect those items?
She did.
Okay. Okay, just a second. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay. I'm going to pass you some items from evidence. Would you prefer? I'll just send that.
Scissors up there.
There's a pair of scissors.
If you want.
That's fine. Thank you.
Okay, if you could, just, there should be some gloves up there. Do you see gloves up on the table?
I do. I'm putting them on now.
Okay. Oh, yeah, two of them are here. Tell me the number. Okay, you have that one opened?
No, I was sort of waiting on you to
It's
ask
okay.
a question.
If you could go ahead and open that item. Okay, can you tell me what that is?
This is a small Polaroid type picture that the defendant described was taken at I believe that one was the Blowing Rock trip in North Carolina.
Okay. And to your knowledge, is there a date at all on that? There may not be, I don't know.
This photograph does not have a date on it.
Okay. And where did you obtain that photo? Was that from, where was that photograph obtained from?
It was from a box of belongings belonged to the defendant.
Okay. We'd ask that be made exhibit number 188.
188.
You want it back in the envelope?
May we publish, Your Honor?
Mr. Scott, you've seen that.
Permission to publish? Okay. And how did you know what this was a photograph of?
At the time during the interview, myself and Sergeant Price were sitting there with the defendant, pulling these items out, asking her to describe these items to us.
Okay. And she described that as being from Blowing Rock.
That's correct.
Okay. Oh, actually, I want number 6 first.
Could I get that X-Acto knife?
Okay, again, I'm going to ask to open it and see if you can identify it.
All right.
Okay. Do you recognize that?
Yes, I do.
What is it?
These are a couple of the brochures the defendant described as coming from the trip that they had taken over to North Carolina, they being the defendant and her boyfriend, Hunter.
Okay. So how many documents do you have in front of you?
3.
Okay. And what are they individually?
One is titled The Official Visitor's Map and Guide to Blowing Rock, North Carolina.
Okay.
Another one is Mystery Hill, which has a map of North Carolina. North Carolina's natural gravitational anomaly.
Okay.
Another one is North Carolina's oldest tourist attraction, the Blowing Rock.
Okay. If you could slide those back in, I'm going to show them to the defense really quickly. Your Honor, we'd offer this as exhibit number 189, please.
Any objection?
No, sir.
It's collected exhibit 189.
And where did you find those brochures?
They were with the defendant's belongings.
And where were, when you say the defendant's belongings, where were those belongings located?
Inside the residence of Hunter Wood.
Okay. I see the next.
Okay.
Okay. Do you recognize that?
Yes, I do.
Okay. What is it?
These are photographs of the defendant and Hunter Wood.
Okay. And is that also something that you collected from her belongings?
Yes.
Okay. Is it any, does it appear, well, if I could just pass those back first and let Mr. Scott take a look at those. May we approach?
All right, sustained in part, overruled in part.
And we'd ask these be made
Collective 190.
190. Permission to publish.
Go ahead.
Is that a fair and accurate representation of one of the photos that you took from the defendant's property?
Yes, it is.
Were these located within anything?
They were inside of a box that the defendant identified as hers.
Okay. Same thing with that one?
Yes.
Okay. Do you recognize that?
Yes, I do.
Okay. What is it?
This is a card titled Thinking of You with Love.
Okay. And does it have any names on it?
Yes, the names on it are Maggie and Hunter.
Okay. And can you tell the jury where that was collected?
It was with the defendant's belongings.
Okay. If you could pass that back, please.
We resolved it.
We
We
resolved it.
resolved it.
Is that?
Yes, I do.
What is it?
These are photographs of the victim, Evelyn, 2 photographs of Evelyn, 1 photograph of Evelyn with the defendant,
Okay. And where were those found?
with the defendant's belongings.
Okay. If you could pass those back, slide them back in the envelope and pass them back.
Sustained.
You recognize that?
Yes, I do.
Okay. What is it?
This is a receipt from the Olive Garden on North Eastman Road in Kingsport, Tennessee.
Okay. Was that also taken from the defendant's property?
It was.
Okay. Any objection? Okay. We'd ask that be offered as exhibit number 191.
Before we do it, 191.
If I could have it passed back to the witness briefly. Forgot to ask you, what is the date on that receipt?
It's January the 11th, 2020.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to ask if I could please have, and you saw that exhibit with you? You can pass that back down to the clerk. And then ask if exhibit number 29 or 21 can please be passed to the witness. Nope, sorry, not 21. I'm wrong. Hold on. It would be number 91. Sorry. I'm going to ask if you could take a look at that. And see if you recognize that.
Yes, I recognize this.
What is it?
This is a shirt that belonged to the victim, Evelyn Boswell.
Okay, where was that found?
It was inside what the defendant referenced as a baby box.
Okay. And where was that baby box located?
It was with the defendant's belongings.
At where?
Hunter's residence.
Hunter's residence, okay. Your Honor, we had previously marked that exhibit as number 91 for ID only. We'd ask that be made a full exhibit at this time.
No objection.
Before we do it.
Agent Gratz, I'm going to ask for you, well, let me ask the court, may I publish it, Your Honor? Agent Gratz, I'm going to ask for you to take it out of the package and show it to the jury, please.
Do you just want me to hold it up?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to stand up so everyone can see it. Thank you. Okay, thanks. No. I'm going to ask if Exhibit 92 could please be passed to the witness. Same thing, I'm going to ask if you could open that exhibit and see if you can identify it. Don't show it to the jury yet.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Yes.
Okay. What is it?
This is a child's blanket.
Okay. And does it have any special features on it that are identifiable? What type of blanket is it?
It's a shark blanket.
Okay.
Baby shark.
And where was that located?
It was with the defendant's belongings.
Okay. At Hunter's Woods residence?
Yes.
Okay. And was that also in that box that you're referencing?
Yes.
Okay. Your Honor, that had been previously marked as ID only. We would ask that it be made into a full exhibit.
No objection.
Before exhibit 92. Now you.
Okay. May we publish it, Your Honor?
You want me to stand up again?
So long as the court is okay with that. Okay. Okay, thank you. So before we went through all of those, we were talking about that interview from February 21st with Sergeant, now Lieutenant Price. Was that interview audio and video recorded?
Yes, it was.
Where did it take place?
At the sheriff's office.
And is that in Sullivan County, Tennessee?
Yes, it is.
During this interview, you discussed a second ago the term memory box. At some point, did you have an interview with the defendant regarding this memory box?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Can you tell the jury a little bit about, just briefly, what you did with the defendant?
Yeah, during that interview, we had what the defendant referred to as the memory box, and we pulled items out of it sort of one by one and had the defendant identify what each item was and the significance of each item,
Okay.
if any.
And what was your purpose in doing that?
You know, at that point, we were just following whatever leads were coming in. We had received that property, and we were trying to identify what it was, determine how it was relevant, and also establish a timeline for the last known whereabouts of Evelyn Boswell.
And did the defendant freely and voluntarily go through that box with you?
Yes.
Okay. Give me just 1 second. Your Honor, may we approach?
Ladies and gentlemen, if we go with the officer.
One stand, please. May be seated, thank you.
All right, we'll be in recess 10 or 15 minutes. You want to take? Go ahead, gentlemen.
Your Honor, if I could quickly have exhibit number 189 passed back to the witness for just a second. It should be on the far right on that table. Thank you. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to ask for you to open that back up. Should be brochures from Blowing Rock. Is that right?
That's correct.
Okay. If you could look into those brochures and see if you anything that indicates a date.
There's a receipt here.
Okay?
The date indicated is January the 19th, 2020.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. That's all I need from that. Thank you. I'm going to ask if you can open that up and see if you can identify it.
Yes, this is like a memory book that says "Hello, Baby" on the front, and it appears to have an ultrasound.
And where was that found?
It was with the defendant's belongings.
Okay. At what location?
Hunter's residence.
Okay. Okay. We will ask to be moving that as exhibit number 192.
Any objection?
No objection for our agreement, that's great.
Just pull exhibit 192.
And what I'm going to do right now is just ask for you to, Your Honor, may we publish this to the jury, just the front of the book? Okay. You could just hold up the front of the book so the jury can see the front of the book, please. Okay. Thank you. And we briefly talked before the break. Is that the book that we were discussing in regards to that interview?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, you can pass that back to the clerk. At some point, did the defendant tell you someone other than Ethan allegedly had Evelyn?
She did, yes.
And who did she allege had Evelyn?
After a period of time, the defendant told us that her mother, in fact, had Evelyn Boswell.
Okay, is
Her
that...
mo-
I'm sorry, go ahead.
And her mother's name is Angela Boswell,
Okay.
also referred to as Angel from
Okay.
time to time.
And were you able to locate Angela Boswell?
Yes, she was located
And where was she located?
in Wilkes County, North Carolina.
Okay. Was she with anyone?
She was with a man named William McLeod.
Okay. Did Angela have Evelyn?
No, she did not.
Okay. At this point in the investigation, had anything led you to believe that Angela had Evelyn at any point?
No.
Okay. Did you yourself end up going to North Carolina?
Yes, I did.
And why?
To interview Angela Boswell and William McLeod.
Okay. Moving forward a few days, do you remember meeting with Megan Boswell again on February 23rd, 2020?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Who was present for that interview?
Now Lieutenant Matt Price
Okay. Where did that interview take place?
at the sheriff's office.
Okay. Is that located in Sullivan County, Tennessee?
Yes, it is.
What was the purpose of that interview?
At that point, we were still speaking with the defendant, trying to get as much information as we could regarding the investigation.
Okay. Had you started developing a timeline at any point?
Yes, that's one thing that we worked on throughout this investigation that is important when you're looking for a missing person to determine their last known whereabouts.
Okay. And were you continually working in and out of the sheriff's department during this time?
Yes.
Did you have a scheduled interview with the defendant on February 25th of 2020?
No, we did not.
Okay. Did you see the defendant that day?
Yes, she showed up at the sheriff's office.
Okay. And is that located in Sullivan County?
It is, yes.
Okay. Did the defendant tell you why she showed up that day?
Initially, or throughout talking with her, she gave a couple of different reasons.
Okay. What did she say?
She was concerned about having her body spray returned to her. She was talking about forming a search party to go to an area she kept referring to as Mendota. And she was asking about whether she would be, or whether there would be any issues with tampering with evidence.
Okay. Did she specify why she was concerned about tampering with evidence?
The defendant told us that someone had told her that she might get arrested for tampering with evidence.
Okay. Had law enforcement heard about Mendota?
Yes, the Mendota had been brought up a few times as a possible place to search.
Okay. Did the defendant at this time show you any concern for Evelyn?
She did not.
Do you recall speaking with her in a different manner to try to get her to give you more information about where Evelyn might be?
I'm sorry, could you clarify that for me?
Did you give her any possible scenarios?
Yes, during the interview, or that particular February 25th interview, we discussed with her, were there any other possibilities about the whereabouts of Evelyn? For example, was she aware that something happened and wasn't telling law enforcement?
Okay, what do you mean something happened? Can you describe further what you mean by that?
I was specifically asking her about whether Evelyn had any breathing issues, for example, whether she had stopped breathing at some point, and the defendant just didn't know what to do and hadn't yet reported that to law enforcement.
Okay. What made you decide to suggest this to her?
There were several reasons. Throughout the investigation, we were consulting with our forensic scientist in the lab, as well as the doctors at the William Jenkins Forensic Center about possibilities in child deaths. And some of the issues that had come up were positional asphyxiation.
Okay. You used the word positional asphyxiation. Is that a word you used with the defendant?
And they didn't think I said those specific words.
Okay. Do you know what words or do you recall what specific words you used?
Specifically, I think I just was asking about whether the victim had stopped breathing.
Okay. So you asked her specifically if Evelyn might have stopped breathing. Were you suggesting an accident, or were you suggesting that it was, for lack of a better word, a homicide at this point?
You know, we were open to all types of theories at that point, but we did want to know whether an accident had occurred sometime in the past and she had done something and just not told us about it at that point.
When you discussed these things with her, did she continue to maintain nothing like that had happened?
She did. She denied that there was ever any breathing issues.
Okay. Did she maintain she told you everything?
Multiple times the defendant had told us that she had told us everything that she knew.
Okay. And do you recall that interview ending?
Yes, I do.
Okay. And do you recall where that interview took place within the building?
It took place in several parts of the building. At one point, we were upstairs in the sheriff's office, and another point, we had walked the defendant downstairs to essentially escort her out of the building.
Okay, so you walked her down yourself?
I believe now Lieutenant Price was with me.
Okay. When you got to the door, did you see anything outside?
Yes, at that time, the news media was just right outside the front door.
Okay. What did you do when you saw them?
We offered out of a courtesy to the defendants, do you want to go out another door so you don't have to face them?
Okay, and did you in fact walk her to a different door?
Yes, we walked her out a side door at the sheriff's office.
Okay. And did you see the defendant after that moment?
Yes.
What
Yes,
did you
we
see?
did.
What did you see?
She had walked from that side door back to the front of the building and then gave an interview with the news.
Okay. In looking for Evelyn, how many times did law enforcement search that trailer park where the defendant was living with Evelyn?
I know multiple. I know I was there twice, and I know other law enforcement officers had gone in addition to that.
Anything ever found other than the stroller we've already talked about that was helpful to the investigation?
No.
Okay. Can you please tell us how many law enforcement agencies had been called in to help find Evelyn Boswell?
The specific number, I don't know. However, it was a large amount of law enforcement, essentially all of the TBI resources out of the Johnson City office, several from the Knoxville office, many people from Nashville were helping. I know our aviation unit, several pilots assisted with a plane, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, all of Sullivan County Sheriff's Office, and probably every local agency in the greater East Tennessee area. The United States Marshal Service was involved at times. Our partner agency in North Carolina, the State Bureau of Investigation, assisted, along with the Wilkes County Sheriff's Office.
Okay. Was a tip line established in order to try to find Evelyn?
Yes, in scenarios like this, we use a tip line, the number being 1-800-TBI-5.
Okay. And do you know approximately how many tips came in during that time?
A couple of thousand.
Okay. How does the law enforcement agency determine which leads to follow?
At different times, especially early on in the investigation, we man the tip line with different agents. Different analysts in Nashville are keeping eyes on every tip that go in, and we essentially use our experience and determine which tips that maybe we should look at first and try to prioritize them and continue to working them until we can close them and move on to others.
Okay. Are you confident that every credible lead was followed to the end?
Absolutely.
Okay. And were you given leads based on information that Megan Boswell gave you directly? Individuals to look at?
I'm sorry, I'm not sure what you mean.
Did you follow the leads based on information that Megan Boswell gave you?
Oh, absolutely, yes.
Okay. Can you tell us what, like just one at a time, what was one of those leads that she gave you as to where Evelyn was?
So we got the initial story that Evelyn was with Ethan, and us and other law enforcement agencies and the Army CID essentially eliminated that lead.
Okay. So you feel confident that you were able to eliminate Ethan as a suspect?
Yes.
Okay. What about Angela Boswell?
Same answer, yes.
Okay. Did you investigate Angela Boswell?
Yes.
Did you investigate her boyfriend, Will McLeod?
Yes, we did.
Based on your investigation, were you able to confidently eliminate Angela Boswell and Will McLeod as suspects?
Objection, Your Honor. We approach.
Sustained. Objection sustained as to board.
Okay, I'm going to rephrase the question, okay? Were you able to eliminate Angela Boswell and/or Will McLeod, her boyfriend, as suspects in this case?
Yes.
Okay. What about Mendota?
Yes, that area was thoroughly searched by multiple law enforcement agencies, and we never found any bit of information or evidence that linked to that area to Evelyn Boswell.
Can you briefly tell the jury what Megan Boswell had told you about Mendota?
The defendant kept referencing campgrounds in Mendota. I wasn't really sure what she meant at the time, but she kept bringing up, you should go to Mendota, and she just kept bringing it up.
Okay. Was Mendota investigated?
Thoroughly, yes.
Okay. Were you able to locate anything of importance to this investigation in Mendota and/or at a campground in Mendota?
No, nothing.
Okay. Pass your document. Ask if you can identify it.
Yes, I recognize this.
Okay. What is it?
This is an application for applying for a residence at the Overlook Apartments.
Okay. And can you tell us why you looked at Overlook Apartments?
We were given information that the defendant had applied to live there with her boyfriend,
Okay. Her boyfriend.
Hunter Wood.
Okay. And is that something that was collected from Overlook Apartments?
Yes,
Is that a fair and accurate representation of what was collected from Overlook Apartments?
yes.
Okay. We'd ask that be. Yeah.
All right. Go ahead, Joe.
Okay.
Objection was withdrawn.
We would ask that be admitted as exhibit number 193.
Be full exhibit 193.
And permission to publish. Okay. Oops. Is this the application you were just talking about?
Yes.
Okay. Do you recall when they were looking, or does this say, when were they looking to try to get an apartment at Overlook Apartments?
January the 4th, 2020.
Did you learn how many occupants that the defendant and Hunter Wood put on their application?
Yes, 3.
Okay. Did you talk to the defendant about who the third occupant was going to be?
Yes, I did.
Did the defendant say the third occupant was going to be Evelyn Boswell?
No.
Okay, go ahead, sorry.
The defendant told us that at that time she was pregnant, and the third occupant was for the unborn baby.
Okay. So then, did you go one step further and ask her why Evelyn was not listed on that application?
Yes, yes, I did.
Okay, what did she say?
She told us it was not Evelyn because Hunter either would not or did not want Evelyn to live with him.
Okay. Was she able to explain where Evelyn was going to be living then, if not with her and Hunter?
No.
Jumping ahead to March 6, 2020, do you recall being contacted by the defendant's father, Tommy Boswell?
Yes.
Okay. And without going into hearsay on what he told law enforcement, did law enforcement go to Tommy Boswell's property?
Yes, initially myself and Detective Haraz.
Okay. And is that located in Blunkville?
Yes, it is.
Do you remember the street name or address?
Muddy Creek at 539/543.
Okay. And is that located in Sullivan County?
Yes, it is.
What was the purpose of going there?
We were under the impression some of the defendant's property was at that location.
Okay. Do you recall what time you arrived at that location?
It was around 5:30 that evening or afternoon.
Okay. And did Tommy Boswell give law enforcement consent to search that day?
He did, yes.
Okay. If I could please have exhibits number 6, 8, 9. Well, 6 and then 8 through 12, please. I'll do it fast. Pass to the witness, please. Thank you. Sorry. Okay. First, if you could take a look at exhibit number 6. Do you recognize that?
Yes, I
Okay.
recognize this.
What is it?
This is a drawing or a sketch of the scene at 539/543 Muddy Creek.
Okay. Is there a pointer device up there beside you?
There's a flash.
That's it. Okay. If you could pass the
Yes.
exhibits to me, we'll try to do it that way to make it quicker. It's not a flashlight.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I thought it was a flashlight.
Okay. We'll try to make it quicker this way. These have already all come into evidence, so we'll just discuss each one. Is this a diagram of the property as it was on March 6th of 2020?
Yes.
Okay, can you show the jury? I'm going to try to zoom in a little bit. Can you show the jury where you first searched?
Are you wanting me to point at that screen?
Yes. It should work. There you go.
Would have been in this area right here. It's excuse me. It is labeled as shed.
Okay. And did you search anywhere else on the property?
Yes.
Okay, can you tell us where else you searched?
That building there that's labeled as Playhouse.
Okay. Now I see a box below that also appears to say shed. Do you see that?
I see that, yes.
What was that?
That was another outbuilding that was full of, I believe the business name is Tommy's Paving or something like that. And it was full of paving or asphalt related equipment.
Okay. All right. I'm going to show you next what's been marked as exhibit number 7. Is that the outbuilding that you were talking about a few moments ago?
Yes.
Okay. And exhibit number 8. Is that the outbuilding and the playhouse that you were talking about a few moments ago?
Yes.
Okay. Exhibit number 9. Can you tell us what that is?
That is a photograph of the outbuilding or shed where it shows either the defendant's or some of Evelyn's belongings.
It's essentially the shed with the door open.
Correct.
Okay. Number 10. Is this what you're calling, did you call it a playhouse?
That is correct.
Okay. Exhibit number 12. Is that just the playhouse with the door open?
Yes.
Had anything been disturbed at the time this photo was had taken place?
No.
Okay. I think I might have gotten this out of order, sorry. Okay. Okay. Were you present for the search of that shed/outbuilding?
Yes.
Okay. Were you also present for the search of the playhouse on the property?
Yes.
And were you aware of whose playhouse that was?
Yes. It was the playhouse of the defendant.
Okay. If I could please have shown exhibits number 13, 14, 16, and 17. Or just if I could have this passed to me, please. 13, 14, 16, 17. Thank you. These have already been admitted into evidence. First, exhibit number 13. If it unpack. Okay, I just made it worse. There we go. Okay. Is that how the playhouse appeared as you looked inside?
Yes.
Had anything been moved yet?
No.
Anything you noticed at first glance about this space?
Yes. A lot of the area in the back of the playhouse was covered in dirt, dust, debris, spiderwebs, and there were several items just right inside the door that it appeared they were placed in the playhouse more recently.
Okay. And which says just a second. This photo, exhibit number 14, again, how does that appear to you upon first glance when you went to that scene?
That's just a better photograph showing all of the dirt, debris, or other things on top of the belongings in there.
Okay. And then last, I'm going to show you exhibit number 17. Had anything been moved prior to this photograph being taken?
No.
Okay. And if you look closely, it's hard to tell. Can you see the black trash bag in this photo?
Yes.
Okay. And again, were you present when the trash bag was removed?
Yes.
Okay. Is this trash bag the way it appeared prior to law enforcement taking it out of the trash can?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to hold on to 17 for just a second. So you stated, I'll put this one back up for just a second. You just stated that a few items appeared out of place. Can you tell the jury or use your pointer on which items you are talking about?
These trash bags
Okay.
right here
Mm-hmm.
and this trash can.
Okay. And you can you tell the jury why did this appear out of place to you?
'Cause they weren't covered with any dirt or dust or spider webs.
Okay. So based upon that, did law enforcement make the decision to look closer at some of the items in the playhouse?
Yes.
And which items were looked at closer?
The trash can and the trash bags.
Okay. And who in particular went to take a look at the trash can?
Agent Fraley.
Okay. Is that Brian Fraley with the TBI?
That's correct.
And did you witness Agent Fraley do this?
Yes.
What did you, we're going to do this kind of in steps. What did you see Agent Fraley do first?
Just reach in for the trash can.
Okay. And does he pull anything out of the trash can at some point?
Yes.
What does he pull out?
Initially, the bags that were on top.
Okay. And did you notice anything at the time that he pulled the bag on top?
Yes.
What did you notice?
A couple of things. There was some things that looked like flesh in a sort of this part of either an elbow and an arm or the part of a knee and a leg, and noticed immediately the smell of human decomposition.
Okay. Had you noticed that smell prior to that trash bag being removed?
No.
Okay. And again, in looking at this photo, actually, I'll pass that back up. If I could please have number 18 and 19 and 42, please. Okay, this has been previously admitted. With this photo, is that what you were just referencing a few moments ago?
Yes.
Is that before or after the black trash bag was removed?
This photo would have been taken after.
Okay. So now, did you think that was a baby's leg?
Initially, when I first saw it, I really thought that it might have been a baby doll. It looked like an antique, kind of a flesh color, and it was. It's hard to describe the look of the skin, but it almost did not look real. It had like a shine to it, and as you can tell, it's at least getting dark at this point. We're in the evening, in the wintertime, and we're shining flashlights on it. So I specifically remember that it had like just kind of a shine to it. And initially I thought, is that a baby doll?
Okay. And you said it was dark when you were doing this?
Yes.
Okay. Did you determine that it was not a baby doll?
It was immediately apparent.
Okay. And at that point, what did law enforcement decide to do?
We sort of paused at that point and decided we needed to call some other people in. We made a decision on who was going to perform that search and how it was going to be performed.
Okay. And who did you call in?
Well, we called the forensic center. We would have been calling various supervisors for the relative agencies that were on site.
Okay. And did you remove any items from the playhouse once those individuals arrived?
Yes.
Okay. And what did you remove?
The trash can and the trash bags.
Okay. Let's see. If I could see 42. Did I already ask for that one? I'm sorry. And I'm going to be asking for 22 through 27 in a second, if that helps. Okay. So I'm going to show you what's been previously marked as exhibit number 42. Now, are these items still inside or are they outside the playhouse at this point? Can you tell, or do I need to?
Could I? It might help if I. That helps a little bit.
As far as it goes. It's a little dark on the screen. Would
It
you like to
is.
see the exhibit
Yes,
or
that
the
would
photograph
help.
itself?
That's much better.
22 through 27. Are you able to tell if that is inside or outside the playhouse?
It's just outside the playhouse on a like a perch or a porch area.
Okay. If I could have that passed back for just a moment. Okay. And at this point, is Evelyn's body still inside that trash can?
Yes.
Okay. Did law enforcement start the process of removing Evelyn from the trash can?
Yes, we did.
Did that take place there, or did it take place at the forensic center?
Removing the items
body
in the trash can.
Yes.
It took place there on scene.
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna show you what's been previously marked as exhibit number 22. Is this the start of that process?
Yes.
Can you please use your pointer and show us where Evelyn's head would be located in this photograph? Let's see.
I was pointing it the wrong way. It would be down in this
Okay.
area.
Okay. So essentially, she was head down in the trash bag. Is that right?
That's correct.
Objection to approach.
Sustained. General, you can rephrase.
Okay. Was Evelyn in this trash bag?
Yes.
Okay. Where was Evelyn's head?
Are you wanting me to point or no? In this area.
Okay. Can you tell me, well, that's all I need on that one. Okay. Okay. Do you recognize that photograph?
Yes, I do.
Okay. What is it?
This is a continuation of the photographs that were being taken at the time. I was.
Okay.
You can see the continued process of removing the contents from the trash can.
Okay. Is that a fair and accurate representation of how that looked on that date?
Yes.
Okay. We'd ask that be made exhibit number 194. Permission to publish. Okay. Can you tell the jury in particular what you noticed about the trash bag here, if anything?
Yes, this is a really good representation to show how the bag was packed down in the can. As you can see, essentially the outline of the can, the bag has maintained the shape when being pulled out of the can.
Okay. This has already been previously admitted as number 24. Can you tell us what we are looking at here?
This is a continued photograph in the process of removing the items from the bag.
Okay. Is Evelyn in that bag?
Yes.
Can you tell us where her head is located?
Do you want me to use the pointer?
Yes, please.
It would be down in this area here.
Okay. Can you tell me what's depicted in this photograph?
This is the body of Evelyn Boswell.
Okay. And can you tell us what we're looking at here? Using the pointer if you need to.
Could you be more specific?
What are we looking at?
Okay. So, again, the body is inside of these contents or this blanket. Right here is a blanket. It's grayish, and you can really start to see it's a little difficult to see on the screen with what it's doing with the colors, but right in this area, you're beginning to see the outfit that Evelyn has on. And in addition to that, you're beginning to see the shape of the head of Evelyn right here. And this is aluminum foil that is formed around the victim's head.
Previously marked exhibit number 26. Can you tell the jury what we are seeing here?
This is a photograph of the trash bag after Evelyn's body was removed from the trash bag.
Okay. 26. Again, can you tell the jury what we're looking at here?
Here's the pointer.
Mhm.
This picture, you can see again, the victim is lying here, this being the shape of the head. This is the trash bag. She had just been removed. And at the bottom of the bag were trash contents.
Okay. So what, was anything else in that bag that had been removed?
But I'm not sure what you mean.
You've got a bag there full of food debris. Had
Yeah.
anything else, was anything else located in that bag other than that food debris?
Along with things that were already removed,
What else had been removed?
the blanket with the body and the aluminum foil.
So Evelyn's body was in that bag.
Yes.
Okay. Should please have 34 and 40. Okay. I'll show you what's been previously marked as exhibit number 34. Can you tell the jury what they are seeing here?
Yes, you can really start to see the outline of the body at this point, of the body of Evelyn. Which right here is the head, with the blanket formed to the head. This is the outfit. That is Evelyn's hand, and this is a blanket that is wrapped around Evelyn.
Okay, can you tell us where Evelyn's face is located?
It would be right in this area.
Okay. And I'm going to show you one more, previously marked as exhibit number 40. Can you tell the jury what they are looking at here?
Yes, here I was focusing in on the trash can, specifically for this item,
Okay.
which
What is-
which was a piece of gum that was stuck to the side of the trash can.
And was that collected?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay. After Evelyn's body had been taken out, what was done with the foil, if anything?
The foil was collected and ultimately sent to the TBI lab, initially in Knoxville, and later on it was sent to our lab in Nashville.
Okay. Okay. Ask if you recognize that.
Yes, I do.
What is it?
This is a photograph taken later at the Knoxville lab of the aluminum foil that was collected.
Okay. Is that a fair and accurate representation of the foil that was collected from the body of Evelyn Boswell?
Yes.
We'd ask that be made exhibit number 195.
Any objection?
No objection.
And permission to publish.
Full exhibit one.
Okay. Can you tell the jury what they're looking at here?
Yes, this is different sheets of aluminum foil. They were stretched out as best that I could without damaging them, and I stretched them out onto a large table at the Knoxville lab and photographed them.
Okay. And were those also collected as evidence?
Yes, they were collected that night, and at the time they were at the Knoxville lab, and I believe shortly after that were sent to the Nashville lab.
After Evelyn's body was processed there at Muddy Creek, where did her body go?
It was taken to the forensic center in Johnson City
Okay. And what was the purpose of that?
for Dr. Schmidt to complete an autopsy.
Okay. And did you ever receive confirmation that the remains found in the playhouse were those of missing baby Evelyn Boswell?
Yes.
Okay. Your Honor, I don't know if this is a good place to stop. Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, I think we've reached the point where we're going to stop for today. I'm going to admonish you not to communicate with other jurors or anyone else regarding any subject connected with this trial.